independent Stamping Up demonstrator in southern Tasmania. It's great to have you all here with me this morning. I'm just going to check my volume, check that everything is streaming okay. Hopefully everyone gets their notifications and jumps on to join us today. So we should be streaming there. I should be able to pick it up. There's a little bit of delay. There we go. A little bit of a delay with Facebook. Just a bit of a safety delay, I think. I don't know what just blipped there. There we are. There you go. Volume seems okay, and I'll just share it over to group. Yeah, so it's Saturday morning here. Cloudy day. But hopefully we won't get any rain because I've just washed my doona and my quilt and popped it out on the line. So keep your fingers crossed for me that we don't get rain today. I haven't even checked the forecast to see whether it's going to. But anyway, here we go. Bit of faith in the weather gods, and hopefully we won't get any weather. I've got a couple of people jumping on already. Jump on, say hi, tell me where you're watching from, and if it's your first time, I'd love to know that as well. Anyway, so a couple of things to get on with before we start today. We've got our sort of seems to be nearly annual Just before we came on, I saw an email from Stamping Up saying that they're going to be having a stamp sale. So I didn't have time to make a graphic, so I've got it on my phone. This is the graphic from the phone, from the stamp site, from the website. 15% off all stamp sets from the annual catalogue, from the current annual catalogue. And that's only 3 days. So the 7th of October through to the 9th of October, 15% off stamp sets. Now, that's just stamp sets. It's not bundles. And I think if you were interested in the bundle, it's probably still a better saving to actually buy it as a bundle and get the 10% off the whole amount rather than split them and take the 15 off the stamp set. But I haven't done the math on that, so don't hold me to it. But, yeah, do the math. If you were thinking of buying a bundle, it still may be cheaper to buy it as a bundle. But anyway, if there's any standalone stamp sets or any sets that you like that you didn't particularly want the dies for, the 3-day sale from the 7th to the 9th is the way to go. Even better, pop some stamp sets into your starter kit and you could save three times. Is that the word? Threefold, save threefold. Anyway, so that's it. So I have, those of you who know me and follow me know that I have a group which is particularly just for my customers, and over in that group we run potential customers and potential teammates. Over in that group we run a swap, and every month we have a different theme for our swap, and this month's swap is beverages. So the 1st of October apparently was was International Coffee Day. So I thought, well, why not in October our swap can be a beverage theme. So coffee, tea, whatever the tipple of your choice may well be, hot chocolate, the whole thing. And I thought, well, I've got lots of coffee themed stamp sets around, from current ones and previous ones, from the mini catalogue and the annual catalogue, all over. But I thought I'm going to cheat a bit And what I thought was, it's my group. I can cheat if I want to. And I thought I would make, first of all, I made this little one here. No beverage themed anything there, but it's a little folder. And when you open it up, and I'll ruin the ribbon now. When you open it up, cut my fingernails through the week. I haven't got any fingernails left. You open it up and there's a little tea bag in there. So I thought that was pretty cute. So that's my beverage theme there for this particular one. You take that out. It's got a little packet there. And then I thought, well, you could do various sizes for lots of things that you may want to give away. So that's a little tea bag. This one is, I had some sachets of Milo. I don't know whether Milo is just an Australian thing. Anyone who's watching from overseas, can you tell me whether you have Milo in your country? We definitely have it here in Australia, and it was one of my childhood pleasures and guilty pleasures was to take a big spoon into the Milo and eat it by the spoonful. Mum and Dad didn't often have chocolate in the house, so that was as close as I got. It's for anyone who doesn't know, it's like a malt drink. It's not strictly speaking chocolate, but we used to pass it off as chocolate when we were little. It's actually a malt drink, but it's very yummy, and very yummy by the spoonful as well. So if you have something comparable in your country, please let me know what it is. But anyway, so that's a Milo sachet. So I made a slightly bigger version for my Milo sachet, and that ties up with the ribbon. And then I did actually, I had used a beverage themed bundle for the front of that as well. And then I sort of thought as well, this little design would be handy if you were giving any number of flat objects. My mum, whenever ladies from the Bowls Club have birthdays, she wraps them up a little pocket handkerchief. So I mean, you could make this to size, and make it for a pocket handkerchief or a gift voucher, or anything that you happen to be wanting to give someone that's moderately flat. I mean, my Milo sachet isn't 100% flat, so it's not, but anything that was sort of like a bit squishy, you could pop it in there. So I thought, well, what we'll do today is I'll go through the process of making them. I'll give you a bit of a rule of thumb how you can scale it up, and then you can make it for anything that you happen to want to give, any occasion you feel is appropriate. So I'm going to make exactly the same, but I'll take it right from the very beginning and measure up and show you how I've scaled them up for the different items. Okay, so this little one, just a little white card base. I've used the Flowers of Beauty. Here we are. So I've used the Flowers of Beauty for that one, and the paper that goes with that bundle. So absolutely lovely. So we'll do that one first, and then as an example, we'll scale it up, and I've used the Latte Love for that one. So we'll scale that up and make another one with that. The only limitation with this one is that it had to be more than 4 inches wide. So I'm going to work in inches, of course, if you can scale it up as you go. It had to be more than 4 inches wide to fit the Milo sachet properly. So I had a bit of a think about how you could do that, because we're limited by the length of our cardstock. So we'll have a bit of a think about that as we go. So anyway, let's start with this one. It's nice and small and nice and easy, and it's going to be fun. So what my rule of thumb is that take your item that you want to give, your gift item. I'll pop that one in there and get a fresh one. So here I have not really sure I've drunk that one, but someone can tell me whether it's nice. Probably think I'd prefer my Milo. It's a cranberry and pomegranate. I think I've got the wrong glasses on. Everything's a bit blurry today. Cranberry and pomegranate tea bag. And I don't I'm not advertising particular brands of tea bag. This is just what I happen to have in the house. So anyone, if you had a cranberry and pomegranate, please let me know. I think I buy these for some ladies who come to classes who love all the fruit teas. So I think I've just grabbed a sample there. Okay, so yeah, this is the little item that we're going to want to give. So I'm measuring it lengthways and width. So width it is, and I'm going to talk in inches again. Width is 2.5, inches and length is 3. Okay, so my rule of thumb is for relatively thin items, you add 1/2 inch to the length and 1/2 inch to the width, and that is the size of your the profile of your item. So I've got a little sticky note here. Let's do some math. Don't think I like math on Saturday morning. You think you may have had it at my place. You probably have, Rose. I think you're the one that I bought the, well, no, Stevie, I don't mean to say just for you, but Stephen likes the fruit teas as well. So 2.5 is the width. So I'm saying my little card base, that's a terrible square, has to be 3 inches wide. Okay, and we say it was 3 long, so it's going to have to be 3.5 high. Okay, so we're looking for a piece of cardstock, and the way these work is that you've got the width there, the same width there, and then the same width again in this little piece here that we've chopped the diagonal line across. So this piece of cardstock, this white cardstock that I've used for my card base, would be 3, 3 and 3. So 3 for the front, 3 for the back, and 3 width for the little flap over the front. So that's 3, 3 and 3 is 9. So let's do that. Here's a piece of white cardstock I happen to have around. Let's cut it down, and it has to be 3.5 high. Okay. Let's get the trimmer out. I'm looking for you guys for ideas. Think about it while you're watching. What other things could we use this little design for? We've already thought of chocolate sachets, tea bags, my mum's hankies that she gives the club. What other things can you think of? There's a funny cut there. So that's 3.5 high, as we discussed, and it's going to be 3, 3 and 3, which is 9. You wonder why I like working in inches, because that's just nice round numbers I like. 3, 3 and 3 is 9. So for this particular one, we're going to need a piece that's 3.5 by 9. I'm going to score it at 3. I'm going to score it at 6, beautifully. And then this end piece is the bit we're going to cut to form the little pocket. So that comes over like that, and we're going to cut a little triangle out of it there. Make sure I get that right, so it's there. So from that seam to the bottom corner, that score to the bottom corner. So line that up with my trimmer, bring it down, and there we are. Oh. Now, you might find, depending on where you score your scores, that little corner there is hard up on the score and it folds and kinks up because it's right. But this time it's okay, it hasn't. If you do find that, just a wee little trim, just a tiny little skerrick off the corner there will fix that. So there, that's our first one. So what we need to do now, oh, it's not crash bang. I just had a crash bang everywhere. Stamp set's gone. The trimmer's gone. Everything's gone. I need a bigger room. I keep telling Stephen I need a bigger room. I know it's big already, but I need more. I've got too many hobbies happening. Anyway, so that little bit there, I'm going to form our pocket with. So some double-sided tape, just skinny double-sided tape along the bottom of our little pocket. I'm going to cut it in line with the edge so it goes all the way to the top, all the way over to the other side there. Give that over there and close it over. Now, given that it's going to be prettified up a little bit more, let's just see how my rule of thumb goes, whether this should fit perfectly. And it does. I just push the tea bag up the other end a wee bit just to fit it in down there. And there we are. So that's our little pocket, okay? You could increase it a wee bit if you wanted it to be a little bit further down, because the width of the double-sided tape obviously is a quarter of an inch. So, but there you are. So that's our little rule of thumb there. 1/2 inch on the height and the width of your item. 3 scores and then cut it. And there you've got the basis of your little tea bag holder. So let's let's do the paper part now. If I haven't lost absolutely everything onto the floor, which I think I did, bear with me. Trimmer's gone on the floor. Oh, making old lady noises now. Trimmer's gone on the floor. Let's find the paper. Did the paper go on the floor too? No, here it is. Okay, so as mentioned, I'm going to use the Designer Series paper that came with the Flowers of Beauty bundle, or you could buy it yourself. Unbundled Beauty it was called. And I'm just going to use this pretty little one here. Just nice little background paper. And we'll use that. So what we need is, when I am measuring up my paper, as we mentioned, it's 3 inches by 3.5. Yep, so the pieces of paper I'm going to use, my ruler's a bit dirty, is going to be 1/4 inch smaller than that. So 3 1/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, so that's just the layering I'm going to use. So, is that 6? Yes. So 2 3/4 by 3.5. I've got my trimmer around the wrong way. I wondered where everything was. Thought my brain had gone backwards. Anyway, so 3 1/4 high, and I need 2 pieces. One for the inside and one for the outside. So 3 1/4 high, and then 2 pieces of 2 3/4. Okay, so that's just the one for the front there. As you can see, we've got a nice border of white around. And the other one I need is going to go on the inside. Now, for the inside, I've put a trimmer away when I didn't need to. I'm going to cut this piece of Designer Series paper diagonally, put half of it on the back and half of it on the front of the flap, so that you have a nice little complete, so you can still get your tea bag in there, but I'm going to cut it diagonally. So from one corner to the next. Like this. I've said to a couple of ladies lately, I'm struggling a bit at the moment. I just dropped something again. No, well, my table's a bit overloaded here to the side. I'm not quite sure what's happening. Just a bit excited. Yeah, I've been struggling with getting into the craft room lately. I think I sort of walk in the door and then I turn around and walk back out again. And being a little bit uninspired by what I have here, or the things that I'm working with. And I realised the other day what it is. I've actually decided that I'm not ready for Christmas. I'm not ready. I know it's October. I know it's only October, November, December, 3 months. The best part of 3 months away. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to start making Christmas cards. I'm not ready to start thinking sleigh bells and Santa and all those sorts of things. I think that's why, because I've walked in the craft room and thought, I better do something Christmassy for my video. And then I turn around and go, no, I can't be bothered. That's just not got me. I'm not ready. So I know that lots of people do. They start thinking about Christmas. I know the supermarkets are thinking about Christmas because they've got fruit mince pies and plum puddings and everything in there already. But me, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to think about it. So I'm going to keep enjoying the lovely non-Christmas things that I have in my craft room, and probably about November, early December, maybe that's a bit late. definitely next month. Next month I will start thinking about doing some Christmas crafting. And if anything jumps out at me in between. But yeah, I'm not going to sort of force the Christmas spirit when I just don't have it or want it just now. As I say, there's lots of great stuff in the craft room that I want to, I'm not ready to put it down yet. Like this gorgeous paper and stamp set. And you're with me, Margie. It's not that we don't have any, no Christmas spirit yet. We'll get it in bucket loads when the time comes, probably about December 24th. But at the moment, no. And that's okay. It's okay either way. I'd say there you are. So that's what I mean about cutting this in diagonals. And then you can see a little bit of paper on the outside and a little bit of paper on the inside. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so we'll pop the other piece. Now is Deb. I haven't seen Deb on. There is ribbon involved here, but I'm safe. I don't need to put it on yet. But if I have got the circle on the front of this before, without the ribbon, then you'll know that I've mucked up and not quite ready. Okay, so that is there. So I'm going to decorate this one. Well, we are going to get to this one decorated, so it's going to look exactly like that. But what I thought I might do is I'll do all the decoration at once. We'll actually go on and cut the second one first. That makes sense? We're going to cut the next one before we decorate, and then we'll come back and decorate both of them together. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, so the second one is a bigger one. And as I say, this one we're going to have trouble because the width we're going to need, I already know, is going to be bigger than a piece of cardstock. So this one, I made the little pocket smaller. So I made it smaller so that I could do that whole thing in one width of cardstock. And I wasn't overly happy with that one, so I apologise to the lady who gets this one in the swap because I wasn't quite happy with it. So I'm going to do the next one, a slightly different way so I get a whole pocket happening. Now, as I mentioned, our Milo sachet is quite thick and bulky. So rather than 1/2 inch, I'm going to add, let's add 3/4 of an inch to this one, just so we've got plenty of room. Okay, so let's get our piece of paper out again. So let's do our measures, and we're going to add 3/4 of an inch to this one. And I think 3/4 of an inch would be, somebody do the conversion for me, 1.3, so about 2 centimetres. So I'm going to add about 2 centimetres to each direction. Okay, so this one is 3 3/4 wide by just over 4, or 4 1/8. Okay, might be easy to add this one in centimetres. 20.3 long. Okay, so we've got, I'll show how ambidextrous I am. I'm going to do this one in centimetres. Let's do this one in centimetres. Okay, so it's 9.8 wide. Let's draw our little square again, rectangle. So this one is 9.8 wide. So we're going to add 2 centimetres and make it 11.8 centimetres wide. Might as well round it up and make it 12, eh? Let's make it 12. I'm beastly careless today. This one is 10.8 high. So we add 2 centimetres makes that 12.8. Let's make it 13. So let's make it 12 centimetres by 13 centimetres. That's the final design, okay? Fingers crossed. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so if I can bring this in without everything crashing, I wish you could see over to the side. I've got my little table, and I think if I move my camera, I'll never get it back. But the table next to me has got a whole 2 weeks worth of crafting sitting on it, precariously like a tower, and that's why it crashes down. I do need to tidy it up, and I will. But as I say, I've just been totally uninspired. Okay, so working on our measurements, we've got to go 3 times. We're going to go the normal, the height is cool, 13 centimetres, we can do that. But the width is going to have to be 12 times 3, which is, 12 times 3 is 36, which is too long. It's longer than our piece of cardstock. So what I'm going to do, and this is a bit tricky, watch this. I'm going to grab the 13 centimetres high, so we'll do that. And 2 lots of 12, so 24. In this one occasion, actually, the centimetres is easier, isn't it? Because it's round centimetres. So 24. See, so we definitely wouldn't have had enough for 3 times 24 out of that, unless you've got 36 centimetre cardstock put away somewhere. If you do, please let me know. I'd love to know where you got 36 centimetre cardstock. Where'd my scoring blade go? Did it come out? Hi. Where'd that go? Did anyone see? Did it come out when it dropped on the floor? Ha, it did. Okay, scoring blade came out. Okay, so half and half. So this is our, put it that way, this is our little pocketbook part. So if we have a look there, our Milo's going to fit in here beautifully, just nice. But we need a little pocket. So I'm going to grab another piece of 12 by 12. I wonder if I've got any. If I've got any scraps that big. It really wouldn't matter. It could be designer series paper, couldn't it? Could it? Could I use designer series paper? Am I that sneaky? No, oh no, I'll grab some pecan pie. Okay. Always got scraps of the main colours lying around. So this is a fairly large scrap of pecan pie. So we go 12 by 12 on this one because this is our third panel. It doesn't happen to be attached, but it will be. So 12 by 12. I'm making this up as I go along here, guys, so, you know, hold your breath. I'm going to pop this in there. Oh, no, not 12 by 12. Oh, ball, damn. It's got to be 13 high, doesn't it? Eek, as I say, doing it as you go. It's got to be 13 high. I don't think I've got a scrap that big. Anyway, we'll start with that. So it's going to be 13 by 12. Where were you guys? You watched me do that. And I am conscious that this is going to be, may have to be fiddled a little bit to make it fit properly. Okay, so that's our third layer. So if we had designer series cardstock that was big enough, that's what we'd end up with, 12, 12, 12. But no such creature exists. So we've got 12, 12 and then a 12 by 13 square. We're going to chop that in our diagonal, as we did with the last panel. Have I totally lost you? It's not rocket science. I'm sure you guys are cleverer than me and can work it out. Make sure we get it the right way. There we are. And that is what we're going to, this time we're going to put double-sided tape on the 2 angles because we haven't got the score. So let's go there. And there. And I think it's a good thing that we rounded up those centimetres a little bit. We rounded up to the nearest full centimetre because we've got double-sided tape on 2 sides now. So, excuse me. Stevie's still at swimming. I haven't heard him come home yet. Well, those of you who have followed the greenhouse saga, it is now structurally complete. He's basically taken the greenhouse that came in the boxes, so fairly stock standard aluminium struts with the sort of polycarbonate panels, sort of not really built, sort of a fair weather greenhouse, and he has, what can I say, supercharged it. So he's added basically a complete internal skeleton structure with wood and sort of domes that goes around like that, struts, lots of nice strong triangles and things like that. Sort of just basically he's built a house inside my greenhouse to keep it from blowing away, which it nearly did a couple of times over the last couple of weeks. So yes, it is, but he's finished his structure. It basically now is, my greenhouse is where you would go if you were trying to avoid being blown away in a tornado. It is probably more structurally sound than the actual house. So yes, we're both fairly confident that the greenhouse is not going anywhere. But the good part is now I can start putting stuff in it, so it's really, really good. I'm really, really looking forward to planting all our plants and getting them going. But yeah, so I went out there yesterday and he'd finished putting the last struts out there, and there he was doing chin-ups from one of the struts that one of the overheads that he'd popped in the greenhouse. And I said, well, that proves it. It must be strong if you can do chin-ups on one of the overheads. So there you go, all done. So yeah, really pleased that that's done. Okay, so there, I'm really pleased this is done as well. So we've popped our little extra piece of cardstock there to make the full length of what we wanted. How's that? That worked out pretty well. So again, if you were doing something big, like a hanky, like Mum's hankies that she gives her ladies at the club, all those sorts of things, you can measure it and add and just cut it in 2 parts. So let's do our designer series paper for this one. Get the thingy out again. Now, I'm going to move some of this mess so I can get to the designer series paper. Now, for this one, I'm going to use the designer series paper that came with the Latte Love bundle, and it's a little latte. And we all love a little latte, or in this case, a little hot chocolate. I'm going to use this one that's got little splodges on it, like it's just a messy drinker. And again, I'm going to take 1/4 inch, which is what? Must be about 6 mil off the length so I can cut the paper. So 4.5 by 4 7/8. This is the one for the front. There you are. And then one for the middle. Again, 4.5 by 4 7/8. This is the one I'm going to chop diagonally. Diagonally. Sounds like something out of Harry Potter. And that pops this one inside. Okay, let's do this one first. So I think if you're in group and you want to take part in the beverage themed swap, I think it closes tomorrow, Sunday the 6th, I think, something like that. Closes tomorrow. So if you would like to participate, please pop into group, find the post and pop your name down. I think actually I've pinned the post to the featured tab of the group, so it shouldn't be too hard to find if you haven't popped your name down. We've also got in group, we've got our card tag game, which I think also closes this week, next week, closes soon anyway. If you'd like to participate in that as well. I think I must have put you guys off with the last one. There's only a few ladies who'd like to participate this time. So if you'd like to be in card tag, please reach out as well. If you don't know what card tag is, please pop into the group and check it out as well. It's basically a bit like I would have called in the old days a Chinese whisper with a card. So we have one card, and then we one card. Oh, that's today. Oh, thank you for reminding me, Glenda. Glenda's just reminded me it's card making day, which means we've got a card making day event this afternoon. I hope I haven't missed it. Anyway, that's all good. What was I saying? Oh, I've totally lost my train of thought. Anyway, card tag. It's like like we'd call a Chinese whisper. Probably don't call that anymore. Whereas one person makes the card, and then I give that to the next person, and they put their slant on it, and then at the end we compare the beginning to the end. We see how much the card changes with the different interpretations. It's a fun thing. It's interesting to see how people's creative brains work as the card changes over time. And it's good to have probably 7 or 8 people in it just to get a good bit of changing. There we are. So that's our coffee one, to the point where now we can decorate that as well. So that fits really well. So as I said, nice and flat. We've added 1/2 inch to the measurements of the item, and it's a little bit thicker. We've added 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimetres there. So we've got these two. Let's do some decorating. Now, if I haven't lost all the bits and pieces that I had ready, they should be here somewhere. Just popping some things to the side. Okay, so let's do our flowers of beauty first. Hoping that everything else will come to me. So with the flowers of beauty, with the designer series paper, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm just using the same colours for our decorations as they've used in the paper. Just going to recreate those. So Calypso Coral. Oh, I hope that hasn't dried out. It's not quite closed. Calypso Coral, Lost Lagoon. Is anyone watching on YouTube? Don't seem to have anybody other than Facebook at the moment. If you're watching on YouTube, can you just let me know? Make sure it has actually streaming through to YouTube. Lost Lagoon, not Pecan Pie. Pretty in Pink. I think that's it. Yeah. So make sure that is. Have I got the right colours out? She says Lost Lagoon, Pretty in Pink, and Calypso Coral. Yep, they're the colours. So that's cool. We finished that. So to decorate this one, I'm going to grab a scrap of designer series paper, white cardstock, and various stamp sets. Okay, so let's do this big flower first. So I'm going to use sort of like a tone-on-tone stamping here. So I'm going to use the first generation stamping for the outline. I'm going to then bring in the infill stamp and use second generation on that, so it's paler. So it's the same colour, but just a version. Glenda, you're on Facebook, are you? Oh, no, YouTube. Excellent. That's good. So I know it's there. Okay, so I'm going to make 2 of these little flowers, or these are the bigger flowers of the set. Not sure I'm going to have room on this one piece of paper, but anyway, we'll see how we go. Yeah, so that's the first generation for the main flower. Then I'll take that off, clean that up after we're finished. Don't worry, I will clean it up. And so second generation for the infill colour stamp. So I've got these little sticky notes here. I'll use that. So then line it up with the stamp, with the flower, and colour it. So there we are. So that gives us a lovely little subtle colour. And I'm not liking the way that sticky note takes the second generation, so I'll go to cardstock. Just made it a bit blotchy for my liking. Yep, that's better. So that's our 2 little flowers there. So be good and clean that one off. Okay, so 2 leaves from the set. So the leaves are here. So this is where I swap to our Lost Lagoon. Again, same principle. First generation for the outline. Try again, Julianne. That's better. I'll have to get another piece of cardstock. Didn't want to use a big piece like that. If I got a smaller piece, yeah, I'll use that. There we are. And then swap to the infill, which is this weird little stamp here. And this will be stamped off. If I can find the orientation correctly. Yeah, that's it. One there. And one there. So cute. Just gives it that hint of colour inside, which is really, really lovely. And the Calypso Coral, I'm just going to do this one little flower here. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There. So same applies. First generation on the outline, second generation on the infill. I'm just going to do one. Do it on here. Thanks, Sally. And this is the Calypso Coral, just for the stamp off. Takes me a couple of seconds to work out how this one should go. I think it's that way. Yep, that way. There we are. So 1 little flower, 2 leaves and 2 big flowers is what we need to do what we've got to do. So it's a fairly simple little stamp set. We could probably just fussy cut it if we wanted to, but I'll get the dies. I did bring the dies over. My attempts to be organised before everything fell on the floor. Here it is. So let's do some die cutting. I'll bring my little machine in. I think I've said it before, if they stuck the ozone layer together with the glue that they use on these die sheets, backing sheets, there would be no climate change, I don't think. The glue is crazy strong and it sticks to itself like you wouldn't believe. It's so weird. I usually transfer everything to magnets, but I haven't in this case. So let's do this one. So our leaves. To be honest, look, I could fussy cut it. It's just so simple. And then the flower. I haven't left room there for the other sheet. We'll do that in a second. One, two, I don't need that anymore. Looking out the right way to put it. Yep, that's it. Oh no, that one went totally off. It moved. My magnet's not as magnetic as I'd hope. I won't do another one. I'll just hide that down behind somewhere. That's a unexpected disappointment. I'll keep it nice. I'm watching comments while I do it, and I should concentrate, shouldn't I? Deb's just asking, a couple of people have asked me whether it is a small magnetic plate. It is a small magnetic plate, but only because my husband got a big magnetic plate and chopped it down for me. So I'll show you. Not getting any, since Stamping Up don't have a magnetic plate, I don't feel bad showing you this because I can't sell it to you anyway. This one is the big magnetic plate, the big size that I use in my big machine, so it fits the big machine. So when I bought that, I bought two and got Stevie to chop it down for me. So I measured it out. I think it's about 3.5 centimetres wide. It's not quite thick enough to take the place of the plate, so I just fiddled with some cardboard and made it thick enough. But you get the magnetic part of it, which usually works if I'm concentrating, but I didn't then. So yes, but it works really well. So yeah, if you've got somebody with now he had to use a special blade on his saw. I can't remember what he used now, but yeah, so it wasn't he couldn't just get out a wood saw or anything. He had to actually get a proper saw, an electric one. But yeah, no, it works really well. So I'm just trying to find, I've got to get my ribbon. Deb's not here to tell me, but I need my ribbon. And I did cut myself some circles, if I can find them. Just bear with me, guys. They might have fallen on the floor when everything else fell on the floor. I might cut some more. Okay, the circles I'm using are, for this one, for the smaller card, I'm going to use my 2 3/8 inch punch, just to punch myself a little white circle. You know what's going to happen. I'll find the ones I've already done as soon as I punch this. Here we are. So I'm just going to use that little circle there just to mount things on. And sentiment. What did I do for sentiment? Oh, yes, what I haven't. And just a little strip of white, probably, what is about 1/2 inch. So this one here. Just using our little scraps as we find them in the craft room. That's how I'm going to use that for my sentiment. So let's do that. Now, the sentiment I'm going to use isn't from Flowers of Beauty. Doesn't actually have any sentiments in it. So I'm actually using the Thanks Friend from Labelled with Love. Excuse me, guys, I'm wandering around all over the place here, but there. So the Thanks Friend from Labels of Love. Grab a block. Going to use my Lost Lagoon. I've stood up. I always stand up when I'm die cutting, so which means my voice is coming from a different angle. So hopefully it's still clear. I should sit down now, shouldn't I? Yes. Yes, Julianne, you can sit down now. There you go. I'm sitting down. So let's do our Thanks Friend just on this little strip here. Now, will I keep it big? No, I might trim it down. There we are. So that's our Thanks Friend. Just because it's an appropriate one for our little swap here that I'm using. So thank you for participating in the swap. So I will trim this down at the end. Just trying to get it the right proportions from the other card. I'm going to banner it. So sorry, I'm just trimming that down to that sort of length there, and then I'm just going to give it a little bit of a haircut. about 1/2 inch there, I think. Yep, that's right. So just a little tag there. I actually am going to banner the end. Pop that trimmer in the right place so it doesn't crash bang. I'm going to banner the end. So I normally would use my banner punch, but for some unknown reason Stampin' Up retired that. So if you haven't got a banner punch, you can just banner things by just grabbing your scissors, take a little bit of a nick in the centre of the end to the depth that you want your banner to be, and then come in from the corner and cut from the corner to the centre, and come in from the other side and do the same thing, and you get a pretty good sort of manual banner there. Okay, so that's what we want. We've got our circles. Let's get out here. So now my philosophy in the craft room, as I've mentioned a few times lately, is use what you have. So I'm using this pretty pink, pretty in pink ribbon from last year. It's a lovely satin ribbon with a gold trim. So I'm going to wrap some double-sided tape around the back. Try and get it roughly half. So what was it, 3.5, was it? About there. Sorry, I'm just getting it halfway, taking it across, and then taking it there as well, just so I can wrap my ribbon around and not have it wobble while I'm trying to tie it in my bow challenged way. So the bow is going to be off here to the right hand side because we're going to decorate the front. I've left myself quite a lot there. It's a good thing it's not a currant ribbon. No, that's too much, Julianne. That's just a waste. Let's take it in a bit. Don't need quite that much. That's enough. Now I'll probably underdo it. So I'll just tie myself a little bow here, just to give myself an idea of where my circle needs to end. Now, this has already been, 53 minutes. So I'm going to leave it to you guys. Do we leave it here, or once I've decorated this one, or would you like to see me decorate the coffee one as well, the other one as well? I'll leave that to you. Well, I suppose if you don't want to watch me, you can just go away. I suppose it's a silly question, isn't it? If you would like me to continue to decorate the second one, please say so. If you don't want to, then you can just pop off. Doesn't really matter, I suppose. But I'll decorate the second one as well. So there we are. So that's my ribbon in place. So that's going to be how you'll undo it. This little circle, we're nearly done now, I promise. This little circle is going to sit across the top there with some dimensionals, and then we'll pop our flowers on as well. So I'll pop the flowers on. So flowers, glue flowers. Let's pop these on. I have to hide the fact that I die cut that leaf incorrectly. So we'll go flowers there. We've got a few yes pleases. Haven't you people got things to do on a Saturday? Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, so pop that there and that there. And I'll pop the leaves in. Now, trying to hide the crappy leaf that I mucked up. A bit. Who'd know? No one's going to know. I might redo it before I send it to the poor swap person who's going to get a badly die-cut leaf. Oh no, look there. I've managed to hide it. Nobody would know to a certain degree. I've hidden the excess behind the flower there. There you go, look. Yeah, so things you can cover with paper. Okay, so which way was I having it? That way. So we're going to bring our little sentiment in and across like that, and we're going to hide the end with our little calypso coral flower just there like that. So that's how it's going to be. I've actually left that too long there. I might bring that in a bit longer, that bit further, that banner. I've left it too long. So second time with the banner, take it in as the depth and then come in from the corners. Stevie's not home yet, so we can craft. Not that he stops me from crafting, but when he gets home I like to see what we're going to do with the rest of our day. So there, we'll pop that across there with some dimensionals and then the little flower there. We might pop it onto the card first. Dimensionals? I opened a new packet of dimensionals. It's like, oh, there's nothing better than a new pack of dimensionals. It's all so pristine and new. It's like opening up a new packet of what? Anything stationery related really is a new exercise book. Do you guys remember? I don't think they use exercise books anymore. I know my boys didn't. Once they got to uni, they didn't use paper at all. They just did everything on their laptops. So they would never understand the joy of starting a new exercise book. Am I weird or am I on my own? So new packet of dimensionals is nearly as good as a new exercise book. Closest the kids would have got now is like opening a fresh Word document or something. I used to love it. And my job, when I wanted to, here you go. Fun fact you didn't know about me. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a dentist. I so wanted to be a dentist all the way through high school. I so wanted to be a dentist. I even, on a family holiday, insisted that my dad take me to the university where, actually this was high school, towards the end of high school on a family holiday, I insisted my dad, well, I didn't insist. We went to the city, to a city that had a dental college. And I said to Dad on our holiday, can you take me to check out this dental college? Because I knew I'd have to travel because there's no dentistry in Hobart. So he took me to this place where the dental college was. And to be honest, I think that was the end of it. Once I saw the college, university. Once I saw the university, and I was a bit of a sook, bit of a baby. As soon as I saw where the dental college was and how big it was, I chickened out. So that was the end of my aspirations to be a dentist. How silly was that? Well, it wasn't. It was the decision you make. You can't second guess the decisions you make when you're a teenager. But yeah, so my long-held ambition to be a dentist crumbled when I saw the size of the university I would have to go to study. I think my parents were quite upset. They would have liked to have had a dentist in the family, but not to be. So I did a mathematics degree instead. Stayed at home and did mathematics. But anyway, so yes. Yeah. Don't know how that story started. How did that story start? I have no idea. Anyway, so we'll pop that on there. I remember talking about dimensionals and that was it. How in heaven's name did I get to talking about my lifelong ambition to be a dentist? Okay, so and we'll pop our little flower there. So if anyone manages to remember how that conversation starts, can you tell me how I started rambling about family holiday to Adelaide and the dental university there? Okay, there you are. Oh, you didn't want to stay. Little flower there, just covering the end of the sentiment. And there we have that. Just adds a little bit of extra colour to the design. It's not quite straight. Bling-wise, I do have some bling here. I did see it before. We're going to use the iridescent faceted gems, which are absolutely the cutest. Who would have known where life would end you up? Okay, so we'll pop these here and pop them around. These are the cutest. These are from the annual catalogue and I absolutely adore them. Pop a couple of those around. Only come in 2 sizes. Don't like that one. And there we are. So that's our card. Our little tea bag holder number 1. So that's the smaller of the 2 that we were making. There we are. Okay, so that's those there. Okay, oh, looks like I've used a darker colour there, doesn't it? I think I actually used Pretty Peacock. I like the Fluty Flamingo, the Lost Lagoon, that's nice too. Okay, so the second one, we'll do the coffee, the Milo one. I'll just redo this bow. Give you all a giggle for your Saturday morning. Me trying to do a bow. Okay, put that aside. So let's look at the latte. I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up. Hang on, bear with me. Pop that there. You can look at it while you work out what we're doing. I'm going to see if I can find the bits that I'm... Found it. Found it. That's what I needed. That's what I found. That's good. I'm happy now. We can continue. So this is what we're going to make with the second one. Okay, the ribbon I'm using, again, use what you have. This is like a pecan pie cotton sort of ribbon. I think it's from last year's catalogue as well. So we're going to use that. I hate to see beautiful things go to waste. So there we are. So we're going to use that to do the closing this time. We'll bring in our little thing. And then with this time I've stuck to Very Vanilla this time for the circles. And that's using the really, really big circle from the Stylish Shapes. So the biggest circle from the Stylish Shapes and the little banner, stitch banner from the Stylish Shapes as well. So we'll use that one. So we'll do our ribbon first. Again, double-sided tape all the way around so to keep it in place. I'm going to try and find the centre, which would be around there. Start from the other side, Julian. About there-ish. It's as crooked as a, what will my dad say? It's as crooked as a dog's hind leg. No offence, Ruby. She's out there. I can hear her behind me. She's in the hallway. She's trying to listen. But yes, pretty crooked. Let's leave ourselves a bit there. Wrap it around the front. Ruby, what you doing? She came inside before. No, I didn't have the heart to put it back out again. There we are. So that's our ribbon, tying it. Now, our Latte Love bundle, still available. Really, really nice, sort of for the coffee connoisseurs in our lives. Just give this a bit of a trim down. There we are. For the coffee connoisseurs in our lives. So what I'm going to do is stick with the colours from the paper, although I'm using the pecan pie here. This is where the Lost Lagoon was supposed to be. Lost Lagoon and pecan pie. And I've got the little die cuts there that make it look like there's some dark brown fluid in the cups as well. So, and the banner there as well. I'll use a different sentiment this time. So let's find the stamp set. Oh, the stamp set's here. Okay, so I'm going to use the mug. So this little cute mug here in the two colours. So the Lost Lagoon and the pecan pie. Make myself hungry. Then I'll use Lost Lagoon. That's pecan pie. Is that? Oh, sugar. Is that? That's not Lost Lagoon. Lost Lagoon and pecan pie cardstock to stamp on in the same colours. So I've got a bit of tone on tone stamping. So this is the pecan pie. There we are. Give that a clean off. And the Lost Lagoon. While I've got the Lost Lagoon open, I will bring in the sentiment that I'm going to use, which is "You're the best part of my day." So I thought I would just make a smaller one this time rather than the long one from the first card. So "You're the best part of my day," which probably, if you were talking to coffee, would probably be about right. Quite fond of a nice cup of coffee in the morning. And some days they do go downhill from there, so probably that is the best part of the day. Full of potential. There we are. So that's our sentiment there. So I'm going to die cut those. The dies. There they are. Grab my machine again. Oh, I'm going to stand. Put that over there, don't lose it. Here we go. Now, my small machine, obviously I'm going to have to chop these down a bit to get them through. Now, that is the cup, and this is the little oval that I'll do in some early espresso for the insides. Now I would just fussy cut this one because it is relatively easy. Trouble is it does that little bit there for the handle, so I couldn't fussy cut that effectively, so I'll stick with the dies. And searching around for I had a piece of early espresso here for the insides. Where did that go? There's our 2 cups. The little inside one. Now I'm going to cheat I've got my early espresso. I folded it over. I'm going to chop those both at the same time because thankfully it will go through together and make two little coffee insides, or in this case hot chocolate or Milo. I don't think I saw anyone from outside Australia saying whether they had Milo in their country. And though Margie says they make it in near, where did you say, Margie? Somewhere in Australia. They make it in Australia, so possibly they don't have it. Maybe it's just a us thing. Oh, that didn't cut. My little machine might not be as strong as my big machine because that didn't cut through. I'll do a second one. There we go, two of those. Okay, let's get rid of that. Nearly done now. I can sit down again. Oh. Same thing as we did with the first card. We're going to pop a big circle on the front. We will decorate it with our two little cards and our sentiment. First, I'll pop those little brown bits in to make you think there's coffee in your cup. And they just sit just there. Now you could just colour it, just grab a early espresso or a brown marker or something similar. I think the die is a cute addition. Cute, very cute. So let's pop those on the front. So I'm going to pop the brown one behind because it's a brown background, so it can sort of sit behind a little bit, and then bring the other one in front like that. How's that? So put the brown on with just some glue. And then this one with dimensionals. I know, that's what we were talking about. The kids not knowing the pleasure of opening a brand new exercise book. How they did all their degrees and things on computers. That's right. I think that's how we started the conversation about me going to Adelaide and deciding I didn't want to be a dentist. Anyway, all good. Worries you when you start conversations and you can't remember how they began. I'd sort of start to think I'm losing my mind, especially since I'm sitting here talking to myself pretty much, which is pretty on the edge anyway. Okay, so one dimensional there where it's going to be sitting on the circle, just a wee bit of glue where it's going to be sitting on the cup, and just like that. Okay. And we'll bring that in again with some dimensionals on the back of our circle. Bit of dimensional build up here, but that's all right. Now this is going to need a fairly large envelope. I've got 6-inch square envelopes. I think that this one will have to have. So yeah. So you're the best part of my day. There we are. And bling, it's not really very blingy. It's the little swirls that came with the latte love bundle. There we are. So they were really nice. They're like little swirly coffee cup tops. They're really quite cute. They're not exactly blingy, but they're cute. And I'm going to use the darker one. I think goes well with our pecan pie. Except when your pickup tool doesn't want to pick it up. Oh. And coincidentally, I've just heard the car drive into the driveway, so Stevie's home. There we are. Okay, so that's that one done. Okay, so a recap. We've got our 3 panels, half an inch wider than the item for the smaller version, something a little bit bulkier. We've gone 3/4 of an inch wider, and then with this one we actually cut that 3rd panel so that we could have a separate pocket. And there they are. So hopefully you enjoy those. I'd love to see if you've got an idea of how you could use that, what you could give to somebody special, and how you go about decorating it and stuff. So yeah, anyone who's in group and being in the swap, you have to forget that you've seen these, because I want them to be a surprise when if you get to be my partner in the swap. But anyway, so there we are. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for being with me for all of an hour and 15 minutes this morning. I hope you have a great day and a great weekend, and we'll see you all again next week. Okay, bye guys.